Good morning. We meet for our next round of discussing vocabulary. So today's keywords would be using AI and automation related vocabulary, industry driven idiom and slang and jargon, uh, vocabulary related to remote work and distributed teams, um, context for inclusive and accessible communication. So, what do we mean by vocabulary related to artificial intelligence and automation? As we know, in modern professional environments, the rapid integration of AI, that is artificial intelligence, of course, and automation means that in industries ranging from finance and healthcare to logistics and customer care services, a specialized vocabulary has emerged to describe the concepts, tools, frameworks, and challenges associated with these technologies. So, we need, as students or as professionals, especially in business English or in business setups, we need a familiarity with this evolving vocabulary. This is required to navigate change, foster effective interdisciplinary collaboration, and address the opportunities across various sectors. Let's look at this slide. These are the key terms. Machine learning. So, this is a subfield of AI where computer systems learn from data and improve their performance over time without explicit programming. Next, neural network. This is a computational structure inspired by the human brain, consisting of interconnected nodes or neurons that process information in layers. We have algorithmic bias. This is systematic and repeatable errors in an AI system due to flawed data or assumptions, resulting in unfair or prejudiced outcomes. We have RPA, also known as robotic process automation. This is a use of software robots for automating rule based business processes. Next slide. We have human in the loop. This means integrating human oversight or decision making into automated systems. Explainability in AI, which means clarity and transparency in how AI arrives at decisions or predictions. We have deep learning, which means advanced neural networks with multiple layers for complex data. Deep learning powers are chatbot. Remember, we have hyper automation, which means extending automation to every possible business process, often using a combination of AI, machine learning, and robotic process automation. We have algorithmic transparency, which is the ability for stakeholders to understand and scrutinize how automated AI based decisions are made. We have bot economy, which means the business ecosystem influenced by widespread automation through bots and AI agents. We have digital labor, that means tasks typically done by humans but now replicated by AI or robotic systems. We have predictive maintenance, which means using AI to foresee equipment or process failures, enabling proactive interventions, and also add bias mitigation in AI context, which means strategies and technical steps to minimize unfair or prejudicial outcomes from AI systems. So, this is a lot to process. Perhaps some of you are already well versed, but those who are doing business studies and are just at the entry level, so I strongly suggest that you keep on repeating, go on practicing this vocabulary, add it to your repertoire of vocabulary, because you see, the way technology is changing, so is our language. And we need to have intervention or interaction with this kind of um, uh, new quote unquote kind of vocabulary. Now, when do we use AI and automation vocabulary? We use when discussing AI system deployment, testing and maintenance with technical teams. We use AI and automation vocabulary when evaluating AI adoption for competitive advantage and operational efficiency. It is also important for addressing AI ethics, bias prevention, and transparency requirements. AI and automation vocabulary is also helpful in describing AI's impact on job roles and human AI collaboration. Look at this slide now, and here you have examples of some select sentences, select examples in sentence forms, and how to use these um, uh, phrases and vocabulary bits that we have just seen, and how to use them in actual sentences. First, many companies are using machine learning to predict customer behavior and improve marketing strategies. Second example, the research team trained a neural network to recognize emotions from facial expressions. Next, the company faced backlash when algorithmic bias was found in its hiring software. Next, banks are increasingly using RPA to handle repetitive tasks like processing loan applications. Next, keeping a human in the loop helped the team catch subtle errors the AI system kept missing during data analysis. Next, the legal team demanded greater explainability in AI before approving the automated decision system. Next, deep learning helped the system identify subtle patterns that humans had completely missed. So, deep learning. Next, through hyper automation, the company managed to link customer support, billing, and logistics seamlessly. These are just some of the examples of different ways in which you can use this language in your business English communication. Of course, it goes without saying that this is not the way people speak in their daily communication. Uh, However, this is definitely important and a must vocabulary to be familiar with, especially if you are in working in the fields of science and technology and business English. So please be familiar with that. These are just few examples. You need to practice more, read a little bit more in order to get uh, in order to become more confident in the way you use these expressions. Uh, we continue. Let's look at this slide. And startups are finding creative ways to profit in the emerging bot economy. Now, that's the way we use, there's one way to use bot economy in your sentence. Next, digital labor now handles most of the overnight data processing that used to require a full team. Next, after installing predictive maintenance software, the factory reported zero unexpected breakdowns last quarter. Next, bias mitigation became a top priority after the initial data showed uneven results. Now, let's talk about industry driven idioms and phrases. So, we often use a word such as let the algorithms do the heavy lifting. You know, what does it mean? It means assigning complex data intensive work to AI systems instead of human personnel or staff. Um, then another example of idioms, the human touch cannot be fully automated. So the human touch, in the earlier example, we have seen heavy lifting. Now, human touch. And what does it mean? What does this sentence mean? It acknowledges some tasks that still require human judgment, empathy, or creativity. So, the human touch is important. You have an idiom or expression such as plug and play AI. It refers to AI tools that can be integrated and used immediately, requiring minimal setup. We have from insight to impact, which means turning AI derived data insights into concrete business improvements. And then we have an expression which is becoming very popular nowadays thanks to so much of development around us, technological development. Let the robots take the wheel. That means allowing automated systems to control or guide key operational processes. So, robots taking the wheel, robots in the driver's seat. Uh, Build, train, deploy. What does it mean? It describes the standard life cycle of an AI project. Build the model, train it, and deploy it. We have intelligent process automation, which means advanced automation that incorporates both robotics and AI for smarter adaptive processes. We have cognitive automation, which means applying AI that mimics human reasoning for decision heavy, non routine business processes. We have data driven decision making, which means making business choices grounded in insights derived from large scale data and analytics. Let's look at these exercises now. Please read the sentences and do as you're told. Here you have to match the term to its correct definition. Choose the best option for each. First, algorithmic bias. Choice A, creating neural networks for pattern recognition. B, systematic errors in AI due to flawed data or assumptions. C, the process of automating repetitive manual tasks. Those who are watching and those who are registered for the course especially, I request you that before waiting for us to discuss the answers, kindly try to solve the exercises on your own, and only after making some effort, only after that please tally or match your answers with the correct responses that I am going to show you. But before that, please make an effort. Second, predictive maintenance. A, using AI to mimic human reasoning in complex decisions. B, scheduling repairs based on AI analysis of equipment data. C, integrating AI tools into existing systems. Number 3, RPA. Your choices are making business choices using data analytics. B, the use of software robots to automate structured rule based processes. C, decision making that requires human empathy. And answers: A, systematic errors in AI due to flawed data or assumption. Second is scheduling repairs based on AI analysis of equipment data. And number 3 is use of software robots to automate structured rule based processes. Please look at the slide and match your answers. Let's move on. Next exercise. Here you have to complete each phrase using the correct term from the list. And the terms that you are given are hyper automation, human in the loop, plug and play AI, digital labor, data driven decision making, and cognitive automation. We start. Dash solutions allow companies to immediately integrate AI models with minimal configuration. B. Relying on Dash ensures decisions are based on large scale analytics instead of intuition. C. By expanding Dash, businesses automate more processes, combining RPA and AI. D. Some processes still benefit from a Dash approach to ensure oversight and ethical decisions. E. The shift to Dash is transforming jobs by replacing certain manual tasks with automated agents. Answer: A. Plug and play AI. B. Data driven decision making. C. Hyper automation. D. Human in the loop. E. Digital labor. So I hope you have been able to solve the exercise successfully and you're getting most of the answers right. If not, you need to practice more, read a little bit more. If you are already a student in some management and business related course, uh, as these kinds of expressions, idiom, jargons are extremely important for you. We move on, and this exercise asks you to identify and rewrite. So here I have given you some business excerpts. Identify the concept and rewrite the sentence using one of the provided phrases. A. Our customer support chatbots handle inquiries 24 by 7, freeing staff for complex cases. So, concept: rewrite using digital labor. Identify the concept. B. We retrain our AI models regularly to avoid unfair lending decisions. So, what is the concept here? And rewrite it using bias mitigation AI in a AI context. Here is your answer. Answer for first is concept. Concept for the first one is digital labor. An example of rewriting, we rely on digital labor to handle customer support inquiries 24 by 7, reserving human staff for complex or sensitive situations. B. Concept is bias mitigation, and we regularly perform bias mitigation on our AI models to prevent unfair lending decisions. So, this is the way you use your you identify concepts and use them in sentences of your own. Our next topic is remote vocabulary related to remote work and distributed teams. As businesses, as you know, as businesses and professionals adapt to rapid technological shifts and unprecedented global events, especially in post-COVID-19 scenario, the way we describe, organize, and experience work has changed dramatically. Remote work and distributed teams are now not just trends, but important aspects of the modern workplace. Organizations have shifted toward remote first or hybrid models, valuing flexibility and inclusivity. So, here let's look at a few terms related to um, remote work. So, what is remote work? Which this is performing job responsibilities from a location outside the traditional office, often at home. Work from home, uh, a setup where employees complete tasks and attend meetings from their residence. Distributed team, this is a group of professionals collaborating from multiple locations and time zones, often globally. Hybrid company or team, this is an organization combining office based and remote employees. It also refers to hybrid remote models. Next, accountability. It is the responsibility for completing tasks and meeting expectations without direct supervision. We have something called digital nomad. We refer to to an individual who works remotely while traveling, not bound to a fixed location, as a digital nomad. Next term, asynchronous communication, which means exchanging information without requiring all participants to be present at the same time. That is, for example, emails. Synchronous communication, which means real time communication, such as video calls or live chats. Another important term is face to face meeting, an in person meeting contrasting virtual or online meetings. Then we have flex time or flexible hours, which means work schedules allowing employees to choose their working hours. We have a term like time zone difference, which means the impact of working across different geographic locations and time zones. We have something called check in, which is a scheduled or informal meeting to update teammates on progress. We have something called virtual meeting, which is a meeting held online using platforms such as Zoom or Teams. We have cloud workspace, which means digital platforms that provide remote access to files, tools, and resources needed for work. And then we have deliverables. This means specific task results or products expected from uh, some kind of a organization or a team, an or an office or a company. Collaboration tools. This means softwares for team communication and project management, such as some examples include Slack, Trello, and Teams. So, all these are terms that have become commonplace and in uh, recently evolving technology and um, workplaces. So, therefore, there is a need for us to be familiar with these terms. Now, let's look at some examples in sentence forms. Here we go. So, due to improvements in technology, remote work has become more common across all industries. So, remote work, this is the way we have used it in a in a regular kind of a sentence. Next, our company currently has a flexible work from home policy for all employees. Next example, we are a distributed team with members working across 3 continents. Next example, as a hybrid company, we offer the choice to work either in office or remotely. Next example, please look at the slide. After going fully remote, she became a digital nomad and started working from different cities each month. Next sentence. With our international team, we rely heavily on asynchronous communication to respect different time zones. Next example. Some discussions require synchronous communication like quick video calls or live chat. Next example. Let's schedule a face to face meeting next week to finalize the project. Next example. Employees are allowed to choose their own flexible hours to better balance work and life. Next example, when booking meetings, be mindful of the time zone differences between team members. Next, we have a daily check in every morning for status updates. Next sentence, the monthly review will be held as a virtual meeting on Zoom. Next, all project files should be uploaded to our cloud workspace for easy access. So, another term, cloud workspace. We continue. Let's look at these sentences. Effective accountability is crucial for remote teams to meet the deadlines. Next, please submit all deliverables by the end of the sprint. And last sentence, we use several collaboration tools like Slack and Trello to stay connected and organized. So these are some of the ways in which we can use uh, business vocabulary. We continue with more phrases and jargon. So let's keep on adding to our existing understanding or knowledge of business vocabulary. So there is a term like remote first. This means a company culture or policy that prioritizes remote work as the default method of operations. Then we have all remote, which is an organization with no physical office and where employees work remotely. We have a term such as remote friendly, which means a company that supports but does not require remote work. Then we have distributed workforce, which refers broadly to all employees working from diverse global locations, not limited to remote employees. We have uh, something like workstation, and then we have workation, which is a blend of work and vacation where employees perform job tasks while traveling. So it's different from workstation. We have a word is we have the a word something like workation, a blend of work and vacation. We have a term called remote onboarding, the process of integrating and training new hires who work remotely. Remote hiring means recruiting employees to work from locations outside the company's core offices. We have collaboration stack. It means a suite of digital tools a team uses to stay connected. Some common expressions and idioms related to business vocabulary include touch base virtually, which means to check in or briefly communicate with colleagues online. So you are touching base, but you are touching base virtually and not face to face. Then we also use take it offline. It means move a conversation from a public virtual forum to a private chat or call for further discussion. We have work across time zones, which means to collaborate with team members based in various geographic locations. We have Zoom fatigue, which means feeling of exhaustion after many virtual video meetings in a day. We have always on culture, which means the expectation that remote employees are available and responsive at all times. We have a term like digital commute, which means the process of logging in and transitioning into remote work each day. Let's look at this exercise, fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks using vocabulary from the module. A. Because of Dash, our teams in India and the US can contribute to projects even outside regular business hours. B. During our daily Dash, everyone updates the group on what they are working on. C. The company implemented a Dash culture. D. Our marketing team uses Dash, such as Slack and Trello, to coordinate campaigns. And here are the answers. Some possible answers. So, asynchronous communication, B. Check in, C. Remote first, D. Collaboration tools. We move on to discuss what is inclusive and accessible communication. So, in today's increasingly diverse and interconnected workplaces, effective communication is not simply about exchanging information. It is also about ensuring that every team member can access, understand, and contribute to conversations regardless of their circumstances. Inclusive and accessible communication uh, means that that companies are actively recognizing and addressing the variety of experiences, languages, cultures, and needs present within an organization. This also involves using language that is respectful and free of bias, adopting formats and tools that accommodate people with, for example, disabilities, and being mindful of cultural diversity and also neurodiversity. So, this commitment not only fulfills legal and ethical responsibilities but also drives productivity by empowering everyone to participate fully and meaningfully in the work. Take a look at the slide. These are the key terms, some more key terms for you to learn and use. So, we have something called assistive technology, which is any device, software, or tools that helps people with disabilities perform tasks more easily and independently. We have alt text, which means written description of images that screen readers can interpret for visually impaired users. We have a screen reader, which means a software that converts digital text into speech or braille output for users with visual impairments. We have something called neurodiversity, that means recognition that neurological differences are natural variations in human cognition and should be respected. Neuroinclusive are practices that accommodate and value different neurological processing styles. We have reasonable accommodations, which means modifications to work environments or processes that enable equal participation. We have multimodal communication, which means using multiple formats, including text, audio, visual, to convey the same information. And we have augmentative and alternative communication, AAC, tools and strategies to support individuals with speech or language difficulties. We have text to speech, which is a technology that converts written text into spoken words. We have microaggressions, meaning subtle and often unconscious comments or actions that aim to exclude or marginalize. So we need to avoid terms related to microaggressions or aggression. Aggression of any kind is bad. Avoid it. We will now talk about context for inclusive and accessible communication. As you know, many companies follow the DEI initiatives, diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, this means planning and implementing workplace inclusion or inclusive strategies. We have human resources, which are responsible for developing inclusive policies, accommodations, and training programs. We have something called digital communication, which ensures online content is accessible to all users. We have training and development, which means educating teams on inclusive communication practices. We have leadership communication, which means modeling inclusive language and accessible presentation formats. We have customer service, which means serving diverse client populations with varying communication needs. Let's look at a few examples now. How to use these terms into sentences of our own. So, the new classroom includes assistive technology to support students with different learning needs. Next sentence. She added clear alt text to all the images before uploading the document to the website. Next sentence. The screen reader read out every menu option, making navigation easier for him. Next sentence. The company celebrates neurodiversity as part of its commitment to inclusive hiring. Next sentence. Please read on. They redesigned the workplace to be more neuro-inclusive with quiet zones and flexible lighting. Next sentence. Her manager approved reasonable accommodation so she could work from home twice a week. Next, the workshop encouraged multimodal communication through text, visuals, and gestures. Next, he used an AAC app on his tablet to communicate during group discussions. Next sentence. I turned on text to speech while driving so I could listen to the article instead of reading it. And the last sentence, she spoke up after noticing subtle microaggressions during the team meetings. Let's fill in the blanks. An exercise for you to do. Fill in the blanks. A. To support employees with visual impairments, our reports are formatted to work seamlessly with dash. So use the vocabulary you have just been introduced to. Next, the company promotes dash by welcoming and valuing different ways of thinking and learning. C, training slides include dash. So, information is available to everyone, not just visual learners. D, during onboarding, the HR team offers dash such as flexible desks or alternative communication devices when needed. E. We train staff to avoid dash, ensuring our language and actions are respectful and inclusive. F. Adding dash to all website images improves accessibility for users who rely on assistive tools. And here are your answers. A. Screen readers. B. Neurodiversity. C. Multimodal communication. D. Reasonable accommodations. E. Microaggressions. F. All text. So, um, I hope you have been able to uh, recognize all these vocabularies and you have mentioned that or included that in your blanks. Look at this slide. Now you have to fill in the blanks using the words given below. Problem solving, standards, survey and ethics. So you look at this particular passage, source is given below and fill in the blanks using these words. I'll read the passage for you. Diversity, equity and inclusion initiatives are essential to fostering a positive work culture. Through exposure to diverse perspectives, you can improve employee morale, promote business dash, and drive creative dash and innovation. According to a LinkedIn dash, 69% of recruiters and human resources professionals believe that their organizations commit to diverse hiring practices, yet only 47% think they hold hiring managers to those dash. Take a few moments and decide what are the correct words to fill in here. Let's check the answers. First, business ethics. Answers are given in red highlights. Creative problem solving. LinkedIn survey. And hold hiring managers to those standards. Next exercise. Here you have to find synonyms for the words highlighted in red in the following extract. Diversity and inclusion. So you see, you have to find synonyms for the words highlighted in red. So diversity becomes your first word. So you may look up any dictionary, e-dictionary or a real physical dictionary and try to find synonyms. Synonyms are similar in context, similar in meaning and can also be used So, why are we doing this exercise? Um, uh, because many a time we find that we have a tendency, because once we become comfortable with certain kinds of words, then we have a tendency to keep on repeating those words in our spoken as well as written communication. So it is important that you train yourselves to use a variety of words and vocabulary. So, diversity and inclusion is a strategic advantage that promotes innovation in organizations, better decision making, and a stronger workplace cultures. See the strategies for building a diverse and inclusive organization to achieve long term business success. The value of diversity and inclusion has become increasingly recognized in society and in business. Organizations that promote diversity and cultivate inclusive environments are reaping huge rewards in terms of innovation, better decision making, and better performance overall. The positive impact of diversity and inclusion extends beyond social responsibility. It is a strategic imperative that drives success and positions companies for long term sustainability. Here is your source given below. Now, what are the words that you are asked to find synonyms, that is multiple meanings, different meanings? Diversity, innovation, long term, positive, and imperative. Take a couple of minutes and try to solve the exercise. And here are the answers. So, we are giving you some possible answers and solution. There may be more, but diversity, we can also use variety, heterogeneity, distinctiveness, and multiplicity. For innovation, you can also use modernization, modification, variation, and introduction. It all depends on the context. Long term, some possible synonyms can be prolonged, marathon, extended, protracted. Positive, we can have positive feedback, constructive feedback, for instance, productive, worthwhile, beneficial. Try to use these words in your sentences to develop your vocabulary. For imperative, you can have important, essential, crucial, and necessary. Keep repeating these kinds of exercises wherever possible. Find synonyms for words that you like and you think you may want to use repeatedly, and therefore it is a very good idea that you add to your vocabulary. You do not use the same word all over again throughout your report or passage or the things that you want to write. It is always a good idea to add to your repertoire of existing vocabulary. Let's do next exercise. Here you have to find the antonyms of the words highlighted in red. Antonyms, as we all know, are the opposites. So what is different? What is the exact opposite of the words given in red? Diversity can stimulate innovation by challenging conventional thinking, encouraging fresh ideas, and promoting creative problem solving. In research studies, diverse groups with people who have different backgrounds, genders, experiences, and perspectives consistently generate more innovative solutions than homogeneous groups. Embracing diversity unlocks the potential for innovative products, services, and approaches. Organizations can make better decisions by leveraging their workforce's diverse expertise and knowledge. Individuals are empowered to share their opinions and unique insights in inclusive environments. Organizations can benefit from well rounded discussions and comprehensive evaluations by valuing and incorporating diverse perspectives. As a result of considering a wider range of possibilities and challenging groupthink, diverse teams are more effective at solving complex problems. Now, try to find those words which can even replace these particular words. It is, you may realize that it is not always possible to find the exact word that can, because these words, especially in business communication, they're here for a reason. It's difficult to find the exact synonym and a very precise antonym for this, but keep on adding to your corpus of vocabulary so that you know why this word exists here, why perhaps it's irreplaceable. But nevertheless, you should know how to uh, replace it and how to, what could be the opposite of it. So all these are like exercises that build up your vocabulary, and we are training ourselves to look beyond certain standard set of vocabulary that have become sort of fossilized in our minds. So these are the answers. You stimulate, you strengthen. Antonyms: weaken and also restrain. Promoting, you promote something or someone, you promote a product, but then you can also reduce it or degrade it. You leverage, that means you're strengthening something. You weaken it, you incapacitate it. That's the antonym. Something is unique, which is quite good. Something is the antonym is opposite, is an ordinary product, very common kind of product, something that can be found everywhere. And the last word, complex. The opposite of complex, simple or easy. Let's move on to the next exercise. Here, you have to find the meanings of the underlined expressions, not just a word, but most of these are expressions. The topic is free product samples. Source is given below. Free product samples are a widely used marketing tool designed to introduce customers to new or existing products by allowing them to try before they buy. Unlike traditional advertising that communicates a brand's promise, free samples deliver the actual experience of using the product. This hands on approach builds credibility and trust while lowering the barrier to try. For businesses, free samples are a direct way of cutting through advertising noise and connecting with customers. When a consumer physically interacts with a product, whether tasting, testing, or applying it, they are more likely to form a positive impression that leads to future purchases. Many companies consider free sampling a critical component of their marketing strategy, especially when launching new products or entering competitive markets. Free samples can be distributed through multiple channels. Store sampling remains common in grocery and retail environments where customers encounter new products during their regular shopping. Direct mail campaigns send samples straight to households, often targeted by demographics or purchasing behavior. Now, read through this very interesting and useful passage. Um, in especially in business environments, all of us are aware of concepts such as freebies and free product samples. So this particular passage gives you an overview of why companies do these things. Now, uh, the language part of it, coming to the vocabulary part of it, try to find the meanings for expressions, hands-on approach, lowering the barrier, cutting through noise, and also demographics, targeted by demographics. We continue before discussing the answers. Event-based sampling at trade shows, concerts, or festivals allows brands to pair their product with memorable experiences, making the interaction more impactful. The significance of free samples lies in their authenticity. Customers may ignore advertisements, but they rarely forget a positive, hands on encounter with a product. Sampling not only introduces products but also serves as a form of market research. Businesses can observe customer reactions, gather feedback, and refine products or marketing strategies accordingly. By giving free samples, companies take on short term costs with the expectation of long term benefits. This strategy encourages trials, builds loyalty, and generates word of mouth promotion that continues beyond the initial giveaway. Source is given below. From this slide, it's a continuation of the previous passage or essay. So the words that you have to work on are authenticity, hands-on encounter, word of mouth promotion, and give away. It's very possible, quite possible, that most of you are aware of the meanings of these terms. However, it would help you if you try to practice writing and try to give these expressions or come up with um, more precise meanings. Not just you know something that what it means, but it is difficult to articulate. So try to articulate it. Here are the answers. Hands-on approach: to be closely involved in managing and organizing things. So the manager has a hands-on approach at the office. Lowering the barrier: to make a process easier by removing obstacles. Number 3, cutting through noise: to break through distractions. Cut the noise and come to the point. Get to the point. Demographics: population. In the passage before, You have seen it says targeting or targeted by demographic population. So, what does it mean? Or targeted by demographics. It means that you should know what kinds of people are you uh, talking to or addressing in a very higher end place. What kinds of products or what kinds of samples would you like to give, or would a company like to give? The so-called freebies. Whereas in a more middle class areas, what kinds of demographics are we going to target, or what kinds of what is the composition of the population? It all depends on um, uh, the purchasing capacity, and sometimes even the gender of the demographics. So you need to pay attention, companies need to pay attention to that. Authenticity is genuineness and trustworthiness. Number 6, hands on encounter, which means directly participating in an activity. Number 7, word of mouth promotion, which means sharing a positive experience about something. Number 8, give away, that means allowance and or favor. We continue. And this is something that you have to do on your own. So do it yourself exercise. Find the meanings of the underlying expressions. Grocery stores like free sample giveaways because they get shoppers excited, feeling like they are getting in on something exclusive and special. Shoppers like free samples for the reasons just mentioned, and also because, well, they don't cost anything. As for the companies actually giving away the samples, they really like how free samples help them connect with customers. So much so that they are willing to pay supermarkets and warehouse clubs just for the right to give away stuff on the premises. The street, here is a reference to a magazine. The street explains how companies such as Kraft, General Mills, Procter and Gamble, and Unilever typically shell out a couple $100 a day to set up a free sample stand inside a supermarket. The companies giving out the samples also have to eat the price of the giveaways. But even so, these costs are tiny in the grand scheme of what's being accomplished via free samples. If that seems a bit steep, keep in mind that getting a customer to even try a product is the biggest part of the battle, with companies spending more than $94 billion in advertising alone last year just to get people to consider a product they may never have sampled, according to Cantor Media. With a free sample, a company gets a customer to try a product without putting up a price barrier, while the customer gets a quote unquote free item while not having to gamble a portion of that week's grocery bill on a product they may not even like. The source is given to you. You can look it up, look up the entire or the complete essay if you wish. Expressions and words for you to work on your own. They are getting in on something. It's an expression. It's an idiomatic phrase. So look it up. Add to your vocabulary. Shell out. To eat the price of something. So here, to eat the price of the giveaways. You have already seen what is a giveaway. In the grand scheme, and putting up a price barrier. So thanks a lot for joining. Thank you very much. We will meet again very soon. Thank you and bye-bye.